Hey, what is up, guys? So as you know, last week, Facundo and I were at CES. We saw a bunch of cool things and met a bunch of awesome people. However, one of the most interesting Android products we saw was this phone right here, the Coolpad Conjr. Now I know what you're thinking, well, who is Coolpad and why is this an interesting product? Well, Coolpad is a company that has been making budget smartphones in the US for quite some time. This is their first attempt at making a mid-range device. The reason this device stood out to me is because they are selling this phone on Amazon for only $179 with 99 cents. So, at a glance, this looks like a very solid phone that can compete with phones that are priced at a higher price range. So this device features a 5-inch 720p display with 3GB of RAM and a quad-core MediaTek chip clocked at 1 GHz. A 13-megapixel camera with optical image stabilization on the back, and an 8-megapixel front-facing camera that also features an LED flash. Also, this phone is powered by a 2800 mAh battery, and it's currently running Android 6.0 with a skin that is heavily inspired by MIUI and the whole iPhone look, without the app drawer and with Control Center popping up from the bottom. So if we look at the specs, we can obviously see that they have skimped out on the processor and the display. This is understandable that they had to cut some of these corners as this phone is priced at $180. However, I am impressed that it comes with 3GB of RAM. That would make this the only phone I have seen under $200 with 3GB of RAM. A couple of other things to note is that this device has no NFC, so you won't be able to use Android Pay, and that these devices may or may not get updated to Nougat. I was talking to one of the reps at their booth and he said it should be coming, however he did not give me a time frame or any of the other details, so I don't know if I'd have any high hopes. So how does this device stack up? How does it perform? Well, when I was testing the device, I came to the conclusion that it actually isn't bad. It wasn't very laggy when trying to use the UI at all, and for 90% of the task I tried to do with the phone, it felt pretty normal and smooth. When I played a few light games, it was alright and performed fine. However, any game that requires a bit more power and was a bit more intense did make the device struggle a little. The 720p display is not that HD, so it allows the device to have pretty great battery life and allows it to hide the weakness of the processor a little bit. Overall, I would say that the display isn't awful, however it doesn't have any colors that'll pop out, and of course since it is 720p it's not very crisp. I would just say that it's pretty average. Another thing that I noticed is that this phone has a very average speaker. It's not crazy loud, but it's also not bad, and I definitely think that's all you can ask for at this price point. So overall, I'd say that this device is a decent offering, and for under $200, it definitely may be the best phone you can find. However, if you're willing to spend a little bit more, you may have better options in phones such as the Moto G4 Plus or the Honor 6X, which can be found for around $250. But if $200 is all you can do, then I would definitely suggest checking out this phone because I probably think it's the best option at this point. And it is by no means a bad phone. I was using it for around 3 days and I found it to be a pretty enjoyable experience even though it wasn't my iPhone or my Nexus 6P. Anyways guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Hit that thumbs up if you found it useful and I'll catch you guys later.